The winning goal of the first World Cup ever played was scored in the final minute by a man with one hand. But before that goal, 13 nations crossed oceans, a stadium rose in 9 months, and football crowned its first champion of the world. This is 1930. 1930. Montevideo, Uruguay. From the 13th of July to the 30th, 13 teams played 18 matches to crown the first champion of the world, the first World Cup. Football had a World Cup idea, but no World Cup. FIFA's president, Jules Rimet, had pushed for a global tournament for years. In 1929, FIFA chose the host, Uruguay. They were the reigning Olympic champions, winners in 1924 and 1928, and 1930 marked 100 years of Uruguayan independence. Uruguay promised to build a stadium and pay every team's way. They raised the Estadio Centenario in Montevideo in just 9 months. But there was a catch: the journey. For Europe, Uruguay meant 2 weeks at sea. Most of Europe said no. Only 4 made the trip: France, Belgium, Romania, and Yugoslavia, sailing with Jules Rimet and the trophy aboard the Conte Verde. 13 teams entered. No qualification, an invitation to the world. This is who came. The 13 were drawn into 4 groups, and only the winner of each group would go through. Group 1 was the largest: Argentina, Chile, France, and Mexico. In its opening match, France's Lucien Laurent scored the first goal in World Cup history. But the group belonged to Argentina, who won all 3. Group 2, Brazil, Bolivia, and Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia, one of the 4 who sailed, won it ahead of Brazil. Group 3 was the hosts. Uruguay beat Peru, then Romania, and topped it without conceding a goal. And Group 4 was the shock: the United States. Built around former British professionals, they beat Belgium and Paraguay, both 3-0. 4 groups, 4 winners: Argentina, Yugoslavia, Uruguay, and the United States. 2 semi-finals, 2 identical scorelines. In the first, Argentina met the United States, and the American run ended hard. Argentina won 6-1. In the second, Uruguay faced Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia even led, but the hosts answered with 6 unanswered goals. 6-1 again. 2 semi-finals, 2 6-1 wins. And they set up the final the continent wanted: the hosts against their oldest rivals, Uruguay and Argentina. The 30th of July, 1930. The Estadio Centenario, Montevideo. 68,000 inside, and across the river in Buenos Aires. Thousands more trying to reach the game. Uruguay against Argentina. They could not even agree on the ball, so they used Argentina's in the first half and Uruguay's in the second. Pablo Dorado put Uruguay ahead. Argentina answered. Carlos Pucelle leveled it. And then their star, Guillermo Stabile, the tournament's top scorer, made it 2-1. Argentina led at half-time. Then came the Uruguayan ball and the Uruguayan half. Pedro Chea equalized. Santos Iriarte made it 3-2. And in the 89th minute, the fourth, 4-2. Uruguay were the champions of the world, the first there had ever been. The 89th minute, 3-2. The ball comes in from the right, from Pablo Dorado, and rising to meet it, Héctor Castro. They called him El Manco, the one-handed. As a boy of 13, Castro had lost his right hand in an accident with an electric saw. He never stopped playing. Now, in the final minute of the first World Cup, he climbs and heads it home, 4-2. Héctor Castro had scored the goal that finished the first World Cup. Uruguay were champions of the world. Look at how they lined up. Both teams in that final played the same shape, and so did almost everyone in 1930. 2 defenders, 3 halfbacks across the middle, and 5 forwards, 2-3-5. They called it the pyramid. Football in 1930 was built to attack. 5 forwards, a winger on each touchline, no holding midfielder, no back four. Every tactical idea in the 80 years to come, the back four, the libero, total football, the false nine, would begin as a reaction against this, the 2-3-5. The first World Cup, by the numbers, champions, Uruguay. Runners-up, Argentina. Third, the United States. Fourth, Yugoslavia. 18 matches, 70 goals, 3.9 a game. The top scorer, the first Golden Boot, was Argentina's Guillermo Stabile, 8 goals in 4 matches. There was no official player of the tournament in 1930, but Uruguay's captain, José Nasazzi, is the man most often named. Uruguay, 3.5 million people, had won the first World Cup, the smallest nation ever to become world champions. The day after, the government declared a national holiday. Across the river in Buenos Aires, a crowd threw stones at the Uruguayan consulate. Football's first heartbreak on the night of its first triumph. Uruguay would win again in 1950. They have never won since. And Héctor Castro, the boy who lost a hand at 13, would one day return to coach the country he had made champions. That was the first. Tomorrow, 1934, Italy, a World Cup played under a dictator who did not intend to lose. Subscribe, and the countdown continues.